Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Kissing up to God, giving him all the glory and all the honor and all the praise because he deserves it. This afternoon, I had a couple of things I wanted to come on with, but I decided to come on with this topic of not letting your children see the other side of their family. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because of my cousin. He's not my cousin, but I married into the family. I divorced my ex-husband. I didn't divorce the family because the family didn't hurt me. So I stayed close, and I'm still pretty close with the family. And it's also because, it's my son's family. And I want to always be there to support him if something happened to, his side of the family, his father's side of the family. And this young man, he's 30. And we was out at a Christmas party. And he came and he sat down and he said, you know what, Jennifer? I was like, yeah. He said, I am so hurt. I'm angry. And I'm bitter. And I say, why? And he said, because he never got to know his father's side of the family. Now, this young man, father passed away suddenly, a massive heart attack. He was only 32. And by the time maybe he was like 9 or 10. And his mother also passed away when he was in college. So now he doesn't have either parent. Now on his father's side, his grandfather, grandmother, and we just buried his aunt in the summer. But that was that family. That was all of his side of the family. His grandparents, his aunt, his dad, that was that family. Not talking, that was his immediate family. And with his mother, raising him, only dealing with her side of the family, he wants to know his father's side. He feels isolated. He feels alone. He feels like it's just him, but it's not. So now that he's beginning to meet some of his family, he is feeling like more hurt because now he realizes what was taken from him growing up. All of the things he could have done with his cousins and all the things that he could have done with his great aunts and his great uncles and the family on his father's side, he missed everything. So that's almost like a whole part of him missing. And he's very angry and very upset about it because he said once he have kids, he wants his kids to know more than his wife and his wife family. He wants his children to know him and his family. Because when you have children, there are two parents. So there are two sides of the family. And it's sad because that's what happens when marriages don't work out or relationships don't work out. The kids are in the middle. And a lot of times, I'm speaking from experience, a lot of times the children are being withheld from whoever is the most angry. Because I've known some men that are broke up, that have the custody of their children. They're very angry with the mother and they refuse to let the mother see them. But 80%, might even be more, is the woman. Because when they're angry and mad and bitter at the father, they don't let the kids come over. They don't, it is so wrong because those kids are going to grow up to resent you. And you're going to regret not allowing them to know more than that. Because, see, when you had them, you wasn't thinking about not, doing that. You were so in love or in lust or whatever the case may be. But honestly, you have no right taking that part of their life from them because you are mad, because you are angry. That's not fair to that child. And when he sat up there and talked to me, that just let you know how deep that is. He's 30 years old. And he's still very angry and very upset and very bitter because he was withheld from knowing his father's side of the family. We never know when our time is going to be. He never, we never would have thought that he lost his father at such a young age, and then he lost his mother, lost all his, his grandparents and his aunt on his father's side. So it's almost like he feels like he's just like alone, that he has nobody, and it hurts him. And that's what if you're doing that with your children, that's what you're doing. You are creating so much hurt and anxiety and anger inside your children because you're mad and upset and bitter. If a relationship don't work out, it don't work out. Why put the kids in the middle? My marriage didn't work out, but I never held my son from his father. I never would do something that's cruel. It really is. I never would do something like that because that's still his son. Just because we didn't get along, that don't mean that he didn't want to be with his child. Just because our marriage didn't work out, that's between me and him, the adults. But so many of them putting the kids in the middle, and the kids are the ones that are gonna be hurt and damaged and angry and bitter as adults. And all that stuff you should think about, because all marriages and relationships don't work. All of them don't have to work. But the kids are the ones that you're hurting. The kids are the ones that you're damaging. And it's something that they might not get over. He's beginning to know his family more and more, and he's just shocked. And his family is huge on his father's side. And he's like in shock. Like some of the children that he grew up with, that he played, are actually his relatives, and he didn't even know because he was withheld from them. So he didn't know who they were. How unfair is that? How would you feel if you was being withheld from your family? And as I say, I understand. I know. I feel them. And it's hurtful. As a grandmother, not to be able to see my grandkids as much as I want. As my son, a father that don't get to see his daughters as much as he wants. They're always busy. They're always doing things, but some things are more so than that. It's a whole lot of cases out there, and the children are going to grow up, and they are going to be hurt, angry, bitter, and you're gonna regret holding. I'm just. If you think anybody needs to hear this, please share it, because it really is a very touching subject, and it really is very important. Sit down and discuss what you can do to make sure your children get to know everybody that's in their life, because you didn't get along, that the other family, because I'm sure the other family. All right, keep sharing, keep coming on, guys. I've reached 1,000 subscribers. I am in awe. Thank you so much. I got it. I'm just gonna keep going and see what it is gonna be. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep subscribing, keep coming on, comment if you would like, and please share. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I am on the right road now. She was bad, so if it don't look right, all right, guys. It wasn't me. All right. You guys have a blessed night now. You hear? God bless.